So guys, up until now I have shown you how to create the different sets in our Navisworks. So we have created the search sets, we have created the selection sets, and I've shown you how we use those sets to create the filters so that we can easily distinguish between different services, different systems and different dates inside our model. Now the next important feature in our Navisworks that actually uses these sets is a powerful construction tool in construction and coordination called as our 4D timeliner. If I go to my home tab here, can you see an option here called timeliner? If I select this particular option, a sort of a bar appears at the middle, at the lower end of the screen. You can also just pin it at the lower end. Can you see? I can pin it as well. So what is this 4D timeliner? So this 4D timeliner is a tool that combines two major things. So we have this tool combines two major things. What are the two major things that we have? We have a 3D model. Can you see? We have this 3D model. In this 3D model, I have my architecture model. If I go to my selection tree, I have my architecture model. I have my structural model. I have my fire protection. I have my plumbing. I have my mechanical. I have my electrical. I have my other models, HVAC models, etc., etc. Right? So this timeliner tool combines this 3D model with the construction schedule. So what is this construction schedule that I'm talking about? The construction schedule is usually prepared by the planning or scheduling engineers, which is I think most probably you will be getting that in Primavera P6. So it's a software which gives us a detailed Gantt chart. So using this Gantt chart, we have all the project activities, the start days of those project activities, the finish date of that particular activity, the dependencies, the construction phases, etc., etc. So I'll just show you guys what a Gantt chart looks like. So that Gantt chart, when combined with this 3D model elements, so we sort of get a visual representation of what element, what sort of service will be completed at what time frame, right? So for example, if I zoom in and I go at the let us take a look at the foundation here. We have in the foundation, we have our wall foundation, we have our individual foundations that are the footings, isolated footings here. We have some utilities. Can you see? We have plumbing equipments, we have some conduits, electrical conduits here, etc., etc., right? So what this for timeliner tool does is we get that schedule from our Primavera. We add those tasks here. Can you see? The first task is our foundation or our utilities. We add that task here. We add a selection set to this task that selects all the elements in this particular task, and then we do a schedule, and then we create an animation that shows at which time frame, at which time period what will be created and how far the progress of the work will be done. So I'll just show you guys what a Gantt chart looks like. So here is my my Gantt chart that has been a device from Primavera P6. So it has different phases of construction. Can we see? We have a construction schedule here. In this we have activity ID, we have activity name, we have original duration, we have start date, we have finish date, and we have total float, right? And then we have different sort of activities here. We have our project administration. So what project administration is? This includes all the top level planning, documentation, approvals, permits, all the project management related tasks. These activities don't involve any physical connection, but they are essential for controlling a project, right? So we won't show this in our 4D timelation since they are all conceptual and they are just planning. So we won't be able to show this in our timeliner simulation because in our Navisworks, if I go back to my Navisworks, I don't have a model, or I can't have a model which shows the planning phase. So we always in this 4D timeliner simulation, we always show the tasks that are visually that we can show in our NWD file or NWF file, whatever file you have. We can visually show those elements. Can you see here? If I select this and if I go to my selection tree, visually I have the floors. I have if I go here, I may have the footings. And you see we have pad footing. So I am visually able to select these guys and create a selection set out of these guys. So the planning phase doesn't come in my 4D timeliner simulation. So I'll just move on. And after this project administration in turn is divided into sub activities. We have site work, we have building, that then we have project summaries, etc., etc., and then we have a pre-construction phase. In this pre-construction phase, this is the phase where the site is prepared. We may have surveying, we may have soil testing, we may have mobilization, we may have some temporary fencing, site logistics setups, etc., etc., setting up offices, storages, all the supply chains that we have. So this also we don't show in our 4D timeline of simulation. So we, in our pre-construction, we have some designs, we have some permitting, we have some estimating, we have some temperature and power, etc., etc. The next thing we have here, can you see temporary power and permanent power. Temporary, this TEMP means temporary, it doesn't mean temperature, so it was a slip of tongue from my side. And what is this temporary and permanent power? So these activities include power supply for the entire construction phase. We get site wiring, electrical wiring, later shift, etc. So all these things fall under where we get the power and how that particular setup is done. So this also we don't show. And then after this we have our subcontractor coordination. So what this phase deals with the coordination between the different trades such as structural, architectural, mechanical, electrical, plumbing. So this is where all the planners finalize sequencing and ensure all the subcontractors are aligned. So this is the alignment sort of phase. So we also don't show this in our 4D timeline simulation. So here we have now our construction building 54 construction phase. So what this is, inside this major phase, this is a major phase, we have multiple levels and sub phases. For example, we have level 1. If I move down, so we have our substructure. Can you see we have substructure, we have then we may have some columns and walls. We may have our level 1. I'm not able to see the level 1. Do I have some levels? Yeah, we have a level 1, we have a L2 deck, and we have a columns, we have walls, we have SOG here, we have foundations, we have excavator pits, elevation pits, etc., etc., right? So all this, and then after that we have a different sort of construction phases. So this sort of phases are to be shown in our timeline or simulation, right? So we'll be starting with can you see let me, yeah, here. So in our construction phase, first is mobilization and site preparation. We won't show this. And then we have our site logistics. So how to set up a crane, how to manage the man lift or build a pad for man lift. So this is not we won't be able to show this in our simulation. And after that we have a substructure we can show. So in the substructure we can show some underground utilities. We have these underground utilities. So what these underground utilities are, if I go back to my Navisworks, can we see here we have a plumbing model. If I select this and if I select this, I go to my selection tree. Can you see we have our MEP fabrication pipework. In that MEP fabrication pipework we have our plumbing systems, and also we'll be dividing this utilities into two parts. We'll be dividing them into electrical utilities, because we have electrical utilities here as well, and also some plumbing utilities, right? We have some pressure pipes. Can you see we have pressure pipes, we have DWV pipes here, which is our drain, waste and vent pipes. And do we have some other sort of pipes? We have some conduits here, electrical conduits. So we'll be creating we'll be showing this in our timeline simulation. Let us go back to my Gantt chart, and after that we'll be showing so we'll just skip this excavator pick. We'll just go to the foundation. In foundation I have my pour footings, foundation pads, layouts, etc., etc. We'll be showing this. And then we have our SOG. We'll show you this SOG. So in this particular section the area is divided into two parts. We won't be dividing this area into two parts because it is not possible to divide. We'll be able to divide the foundation, but I don't think we'll be able to divide this particular. If I select this, can you see we won't be able to divide this because all of the slab here gets selected, right? So let's start doing this timeliner simulation. I'll just simply click on this and I'll just align it towards the bottom. And now can you see we have a task here. If I want, I'll just expand it a little bit so you guys will be able to see this a little bit better. So let's add a task here. We have some data sources, configure and simulate. I will just learn about these tabs a little bit later. So I'll just add a task first. I'll go to the add task. Can you see we have added a task, and we have some tabs here. We have active, we have the name of this particular task, we have the status, we have planned start, we have planned end, we have actual start, we have actual end, task type attached, and the total cost. And then we have a workspace here. I'll show you guys how this actually will look like after we add the task here. So I think we should start with the with the foundations. So in the foundations we have, or before foundations we'll be starting with our underground utilities. So where is that underground utilities? Yeah, here in our substructure we have our underground utilities. Can you see we have underground utilities? It is showing only one, but we'll just divide it into two tasks. We'll just give an underground utilities for electrical and underground utilities for our plumbing. So I'll go back to my Navisworks. I'll just have added this task here. I'll just press this and press F. Sorry. I'll just change the name here. How I'll be able to select this? So many of you may face a problem that you may not be able to select this and change the name here. So you can simply go and press function F2, right? So now we'll be able to take the task. Control A. Sorry, I'm not able to do the Control A shortcut here. I'll just create it manually. I'll just make this a little bit bigger so you guys are able to see. We'll be able to see. I'll just make a little bit bigger. So it is not working for me. I'll just show you guys F2. Now I'll be able to change it. Underground utilities. I'll just give a dash and then give PL, which is plumbing, and then add a task again, and this is the new task F2, and then I'll just backspace, and then underground utilities dash EL, right? So now can we see we have a section here called planned dates, planned start and planned end, and then actual start and actual end. Since this is in the planning phase, this project is in the planning phase, so we won't actually know what the actual starts and actual end dates were. So we'll just only enter here the planned starts and planned dates. How do I enter this? I'll just move to my Gantt chart now. Can you see in the underground utilities we have our start and finish date here. So for this particular underground utilities, the start date is 20th July 2023 and the end date is 8 August 2023. So I'll just divide this into two parts. So they've only shown underground utilities in one section, so we'll be dividing it into 2 days. I think one we should start for 8 days and the other for 7 days. So I'll just start with 2023. I'll just go back to my navis. I'll just start this one. I'll just go here. I'll just go to 2023 first. I'll just go to 2023. We have July and then we have 20th July. I've selected this 20th July. I'll just give it 8 days. Just go here. I'll just select the 2023. I'll just go to July and then give it 20. I'll just give it up till 2028. This is 28th July, and then I'll just do the same for my plumbing utilities. I'll just go here. I'll just go to November. I'll just go to 2023. This is an old project. I'll just show you. I'll just go to July and then I'll just go to 28th and I'll just go here. I'll just go to 2023. I'll just go to August. I'll just go to, what is the date? So it is 8th August, right? So to my navis, I'll just go here. I'll just go to 8th August. And now can you see, guys, if I go here, it has now been I think it looks okay, right? So if I go here, guys, if I move this, so guys, I've done one mistake here because I've selected the planet and actual date. So I'll just quickly just fix this. I have to do the planned start and planned end. That's why I wasn't able to see this here. So I'll just do it quickly. I'll just uh, take this actual start. I have to fill these values in the planned end, and then I'll just use this. I'll just fix it quickly. I just stop the video now. So now guys, I have correctly added all the planned start and planned end dates. Now I'm able to see this time, see in this sort of timeline. Can you see on the can you see we have the one task starts ends, and then the other task starts in August 2023 here. We have some July 2023 here, right? So I'll just add some other tasks. Before adding the other tasks, I'll just attach the sets to here. So I have already shown you how to create the sets. We'll go to the sets, we'll go to manage sets, and then can you see here I have added a folder here called 4D simulation. How just go here, I'll just create a new folder. I'll show you guys how to create a new folder. I'll just create a new folder here, and then I'll just give it a rename of 4D SIM simulation 1. And then in this 4D simulation, and after creating the folder here, I'll just go here in my workspace. Now I'll just select this. Can you see the first one I have to do is I have to select the, what is the first one? F2. It is plumbing, so I'll just select the plumbing model in the underground. I can select it from here and then go to the selection tree, and then, or I can simply do is I'll just go directly to the selection tree. Can you see I have my underground model here? I have my plumbing model. I'll just select this plumbing model. All the underground utilities that we have for plumbing has now been selected, and only the underground have been selected. If I go here, can you see if I'm able to go here, you see only the underground plumbing model has been selected. Can you see this is in the underground and this is in the first floor, so these have not been selected. I'll just go here, I'll just go to sets here now, and I'll just add, can you see here we have a button here called save selection. Just save the selection, and now I'll just rename it as UG PL, right? And then I'll just give a dash and then PL, and now I'll try to drag it into this folder. It has now been dragged into this folder. So like this, I've created all the different, if I select this, can you see we have I've created different sort of selection sets here. If I go here, I've selected UG electrical model. Can you see all the electrical elements have been selected? If I select this, we have UG plumbing model, and then I've created a set for foundation as well. If I go to my home here, and I go to the sectioning tool now, I'll activate the sectioning tool now. Can you see here what I can do here is go to the, I'll just turn off my architectural model, Control H, right? I've shown you guys. Can you see my my architectural model have is turned off? And if I go to the selection tree again, sets again, and if I select the foundation, can you see all the foundations have been selected? So I've created a selection set for this foundation as well. I've created the section set for the ground floor slab as well. I've created the selection set for the columns as well. I've created for structural wall foundation as well, etc, etc. So I've created all these selection sets. Now so we've created two tasks here. So let's attach the selection sets to this. I'll just simply left click. Can you see we have an attach set option here? So we'll attach set, we'll go to the 4D simulation. This is the plumbing one, so I'll just select this plumbing one, and the set has now been attached. I'll simply right click on this and attach set, and attach the electrical model for this. And similarly, I'll create the other tasks using my schedules from my Primavera. The next thing we have is our I think the next thing that we have after this underground utilities excavating pick we don't show, we have foundations. So I'll just directly go to foundations. Now the foundations here have been divided into two parts. We won't divide this into two parts. We'll just give the 21 days, and we give the start this and the end this, and should be this. So I'll just create this in my Navisworks now using this add task. I'll just quickly create this right. So let me create it. So now I've created all the different tasks. As you can see, I've created foundation, slabs, columns, foundation walls. These are all the underground. Then level 1 slabs, level 1 HVAC, level 1 plumbing, level 1 fire protection, level 1 electrical, and I've created all the different sets here. If I select any of the sets, all of the subsequent elements get selected. Can you see, guys? Now here level 1 plumbing gets selected. Here I can see the level 1 plumbing, and then what I've done is I've added those tasks using this attach set and attach those sets here, and also I have set the type task here to construct, and now I'm able to see this clearly. The timeline I'm able to see at which particular date which task has to be selected. If I select this, I can change the task here, I can change the name, I can change the status, and then I can change the plum, the actual dates, etc, etc. Now let us simulate this, right? How do I simulate? You see, we have different tabs here. We have data sources, we have configure, and then we have simulate. If I go to the simulate now, if I go to the simulate tab now, can you see an option here called play? I'll just play this. Can you see? Green means that it is being built. I'll just stop it. I'll just make the window a little bit bigger, right? Now you'll be able to see this. I'll just play this. Can you see green is being built? So this means the plumbing is being built, and then after that we'll have some foundations is being built. At the same time, we are being the walls are being built, everything is being built. And if I change it now, the level 1 plumbing is being built, and now the FPP is being built, and after this we'll have some HVAC being built as well. So I'm not able to see that HVAC. I'll just check if I have given the correct set here and the timeline is correct. So I'll just make it a little bit bigger, and now let us check. So HVAC slab, right? Level 1 HVAC. I'll just go here, attach the set once again, mechanical. So let us make sure that the set has been correctly done. So here, if I click this, so if I click this, no mechanical isn't getting selected. I'll simply go here, just go to the home tab. I'll just select this pointer and then select this, and let us check if it is getting selected in the selection tree. It is M01. I'll just select this, and then I'll just go to sets and create a new one. I think there is some issue with that. Level 1 mechanical, right? So I'll just delete the last one and then reattach it here. Attach set level 1 mechanical, and now let us give a little bit more time for the for these portions, right? So let us check the simulate button now. So I'm also not able to see the electrical, underground electrical. The foundation is correctly being built now. Now the columns are being, now the side walls are being built, and after that we have now the HVAC are being built, and after HVAC we may have some mechanical is being built, FPP is being built, right? So this is typically when HVAC is being built. At the same time we will have fire protection, etc, etc. So I'll just do one thing. I'll just check the slabs foundations. Okay, so I have to add that plumbing portion once again because it has gotten deleted. So let me add that. I'll just add a task here. I'll just F function 2, and I'll just go UGPL, right? That means underground plumbing. So this has to be started before our, so how do I columns get started before my foundation was? Okay, so I think I've already done this, guys. No need to create a new here. I hadn't scrolled. So let me check this. Let me attach the set here. Let me check the sets. If I select the underground electrical, let me see if it is getting selected. It is getting selected, so that means that if I select this, so electrical, where is the electrical? So let me check this one. Let's just go right click, attach set, underground electrical. Now let us check it and simulate. Now I can see it. Can you see? This is the electrical. I will be able to see it, right? So this is all about timeline simulation. I've just done the simulation for this only, for level 1 only. So you guys can add the subsequent levels and add the architectural model here as well, and do this a little bit more carefully. Can you see, guys? I've not done this carefully. Now it gets a little tricky because I have to manually input all the data here. So how do I, is there a way so that all the data gets selected or gets applied on our own? So we have a data sources. Can you see we have different data sources? So we can add Excel file, we can add Primavera files, Microsoft project files, etc, etc. So then all these tasks that it will get automatically created, and just we have to attach the sets here like this, and attach the set to each and every task that has automatically now been created, and then this will help to quickly simulate this particular video, right? So this is all about timeliner simulation. And after this timeline simulation, let us go into our animation part, right? So another important part of a Navisworks is our animation. So let's move into it, right? So guys, let's talk about animations now. If I go here in my animation tab here, I have a record button here and I have an animator button here. So I will be looking at 4 types of animations that we have in our Navisworks. We have animation by record, we have animation by animator, we have animation by scene, and then the animation by camera. So we'll be looking at all the types of animations that we have in our Navisworks. So let's start. Now before doing that, in our simulate section that we studied, can you see we have a section option here? So I'll just go to the section option. So this is now playing in the reverse direction. Just stop the simulation now. So I just go to the section tab, or else I can simply play it. Can you see we have the dates here, and then we have the timeline shown here in this left hand top corner, right? So what if we want to change the format of this particular window? So how do I do that? I'll just simply stop the recording for now. I'll just go to the settings section. So we have some settings over here in this dialog box. So we have some start date, end date. We can do, if we want to change that particular format of that clock. So what I can do is I can go to the overlay text here. Can you see we have day, we have some symbols, and we can add those symbols or add the new symbols. We can go to the date and time. Can you see we have some abbreviations, full month, day name, etc. We can add some other things. Let me add some 24-hour format. Can you see H has now been printed? If I want to add some cost, material cost, labor cost, I can add that. I'll just press OK now. If I want to add a link here, if I want to add a video here, and I have a MP4 video here, I want that particular video in this simulation, I can simply add that here. It is currently at no link, and then it is the justification here is planned. So I'll just select OK, and now the settings will have been applied here in this particular tab. Now other thing that we have, guys, if I play this video, can you see sometimes what happens is what we're trying to show in this particular timeline simulation, sometimes that view gets blocked. Can you see now in this particular view I'm not able to see all the MEP elements that are being constructed, right? Can you see the MEP elements are getting constructed? I'm not able to see them. You see we have some traces of MEPs being constructed, but I'm not able to see. So what we can do is we can add some animation to this timeliner video that we have created. So how do we add it? So how do you add that particular animation to this? So what we do is, before that, let me show you how that sort of animation works. So when I'm constructing my footing, I can zoom in and then see all the footings being constructed, and then after that columns will get constructed. I'll simply go inside, and now when I'm inside I can see all the MEP elements being constructed. So that is why you use the we use the animator option, right? So let me show you how that actually works. So let's start, guys. Before doing this, I'll just show you how the animation works in general, and then we will add that animation to this 4D simulator, right? So I'll just close my 4D simulator for now. I'll just go to the level 1 here, my home here, and in this level 1 home, let us add an animation to this, right? So when we add the animation, so however we orbit our mouse, however we pan in, however we fly, however we walk here, every single movement that we do with our mouse and every single movement that is visible in our workspace will get recorded. So how? Let us check. I've turned on my architectural model here. So let me create an animation with this record option here, right? So we have in the animated tab we have a record option. So let's create this animation. So I'll just simply press record, and now can you see wherever I pan my mouse, my model is moving and then animation is getting recorded. Can you see pause option here and stop option here? So now I'll orbit it. Can you see I've orbited it now, and wherever I pan now, my animation will take me. I have a pause button. Now if I zoom in, I go inside the model. I'll just zoom in and go inside the model, and then I'll use this walk option. Now I'll just tilt it up a little bit using my my scroll wheel. I've tilted a little bit up. Now I'll just pan it a little bit downwards. Can you see, guys? I'll just click this pause button now. Can you see my animation is now working again? I'll just zoom in now and sort of try to create this animation, and I'll stop it. Right now my animation has been saved. Here it has been saved as animation 1. You can also see this in our save waypoints. So let us see how my animation turns out. I'll simply play the button here. Can you see? However we moved our mouse, can you see at the start I panned my mouse, so it is doing that particular moment in my animation as well. One thing you must observe here, guys, can you see this animation is a little bit jerky? Can you see we have there is no good transition between the different scenes. So we in our professional animation we don't want this jerkiness or this cut scenes, etc, etc. So we have another way to create an animation here. Can you see this animation has now been finished, right? So I'll just go here in my saved viewpoints. I'll just zoom out a little bit. I'll just go to the home orientation that has been saved here by the general view, in the general views. So just right click here. Can you see an option here called add animation? So I'll add this animation, and now the animation has been added. So whenever I pan this mouse, so in this, for example, this is the first sort of a view range I want. This is the first sort of scene that I want in my animation. So I'll just go here and I'll right click on this animation. I'll just save this viewpoint. Now the next sort of cut scene or sort of view range that I want, I'll just move to that view range. None of this will get selected. Now if I'm panning here in this particular animation, so that won't be recorded. Only the save viewpoints will be recorded. So I want the second and second sort of view range and the camera angle in this particular orientation. So I'll just select it and save this viewpoint again. Can you see the second viewpoint has now been created? We can also rename those viewpoints. Now my third viewpoint should be in this orientation. My camera should be in this orientation. So I'll go again and then save again. And the last what I want is I'll just zoom in a little bit, and then I'll just save it again. Right click and save viewpoint, and then I'll just move inside. I'll just move inside and orbit up and use this fly option and use this command, and I'll use the pan option, and now I'll just save viewpoint again. I'll just zoom in a little bit in the upper racks and then save animation again, save viewpoint again. I'll just zoom in a little bit, save viewpoint again, and then I want is sometimes what I want, I'll just use my orbit again. I sometimes want to go inside this particular room. Let us see if we are able to go inside this room. No, there's nothing inside this, so let it be. This is our animation. So after doing this, if I go to my animation tab here, can you see the second animation has been selected? So I'll just select this, and now let's play it. Can you see, guys, it's a little bit less jerky, and there are no sort of there are good transitions between the different cutscenes, right? So let us complete this animation. Let it run. So can you see this is a little bit more professional because there are no jump scenes, there are no jerkiness in this particular animation. So all the viewpoints that I've saved here, it will go to those viewpoints in a smooth transition. Can you see now we have sort of a shade on viewpoint 1. This means that we are on the viewpoint 1. Now we'll just move to the viewpoint 2. Can you see we have our we can see our orientation here as well, in which direction we are. So let the animation play. We can fast forward it using this button. So I'll just move it a little bit quickly, guys, using this option here, and now it will go inside and we'll be able to visualize all our MEP elements in our level 1. So I'm already only doing this sort of animation in level 1, so you can append subsequent models, our different system models that we have, mechanical, electrical, plumbing, structure and architectural models, and do this animation in all the levels, or create an elevation that goes through all the levels. So I'll just show you guys how that animation actually works, right? So the next thing that we have is, now the next thing is, if I go to my home here, and if I go to my timeliner again, can you see we have to add this particular animation that we created. I want to add that particular animation into the simulation. So how can I do that? I'll just go to the settings. I'll just go to no link. First of all, let's create no link. I'll select OK, and then I'll just go to my animation tab. I'll just select the animation. So I'll just stop the animation for now. I'll just go to the setting tab now. I'll just go to saved viewpoints, and these are the saved viewpoints that I've created. Can you see this has been selected here? And then click OK, and now let us play it and see. Can you see my animation is now having a sort of, because it has okay, can you see whatever animation I've created is applied to this timeliner now. So this is the second animation that I've created using save viewpoints. Can you see it will go inside, and can you see we will be able to visualize all the MEP elements, right? Now guys, let's export this animation that we have created. So can we see we have an export animation? These are the animations. Let's export this. First of all, let us export this simulation, 4D simulation that we've created. Can you see an export animation here? I'll just select the export animation, and then the source should be the correct animation, current animation. We have some other timeline simulation only. If I want, I can use that. Now I'll select the current animation first. I'll just use the render. For the render, I'll just use the viewports, and I'll select the format as Windows AVI, and I'll click OK, and then save it. Where I'll just save it on the desktop for now. I'll just save it. Let it render. Now guys, it has been selected. So now animation has been exported now. So I'll just close this simulation tab for now. Can you see here we have another option called animator? So now what is this animator? So if I go here, and if I go to the level 1 MEPF, I'll just do one thing. I'll just close my architecture link here, Control H, and hide the architecture link. And if we have the cursor, if we have the pan for the cursor, so what I can do is go to home, and then select this arrow key here, pointer key here, and then you'll be able to move. Can you see? So sometimes what I want is, I want this footing. Can you see we have a footing here? I want this footing only. If I select this footing, I want this footing only to transform downwards and create an animation in order to see this. For example, can you see we have some pipes here that are hidden? So what I want is all this footing to transform downwards, to move downwards in an animation. So how can I create that particular animation? So I go to the animation tab here, go click on this animator. Can you see we have an animation? I'll just delete this quickly. Yes, and then scene 2 as well. I'll just delete this. Okay, so I want this footing to come down. So how can I do that? So I'll just go to my selection tree. I'll just select the footings, all the footings. Can you see all the footings have now been selected? I'll just go here. Can you see here we have an add scene button here. I'll just click on this add scene, and then click on this add scene here, and I can just rename this add scene. I'll just add footing transform, right? Transform, right? So I've added this scene here. Now I'll select this option here. I'll just right click on it. Can you see we have an option here called add animation set, right? So before that, I'll just move it a little bit towards the center, or perhaps maybe orbit it a little bit, so I'll be able to see it, and I'll just move this a little bit down, right, like this. I'll just move it and zoom out a little bit. So I'll just select it and right So I'll just right click on it and I'll go to the animation set here, and can you see we have an option here called from current selection. So I'll just select this. I can rename it, but let it be animation set number 1, right? Let it be like that. Now can you see we have an option here, this magnet button here. First of all, we have to select this, and then can you see we have a magnet button here. So this will capture the keyframe that we're currently in. So I'll just use this button now. Select this and use this button, and then give a duration here. I'll just give a 5-second duration here, and then enter. Can you see a 5-second duration has now been entered, and then the cursor jumps 5 seconds. Can we see here 1 second, 2 second, 3 second, 4 second, and 5 second. So now what I want is I want to transform this down or move this down by some distance. So I'll just go here. Can you see if I select this? If I select this animation, can you see we have an option here called transform. I'll just select on this transform, and then we have this gizmo appear. So I'll just give it let us say 20 meters, or is that too much? Let's give 20 here. 20 meters transform in the Z direction, and I'll just give a minus here. Now can you see it has been moved downwards by 20 meters? That there's a transform that has happened, and this foundation has now been moved downwards by a distance of 20 meters. So you have to give a negative sign here because it has to move downwards. Can you see the Z arrow is pointing upwards? So this means if we want the transform in the other direction, in the negative direction, we have to give a transform here with a negative sign, right? So now after giving this transform, let's do this again because I think my keyframe has jumped. Okay, so I'll just select this animation. I'll snap the keyframe and then give 5 seconds here. I'll just enter it. You see now my cursor has been moved. What I will give now is I'll just give minus 20 here, and then after giving this minus 20, I'll just enter, and now I'll just toggle this snap frame here, and I'll just go here. If I play this now, 1 second. Sorry guys, I was selecting the wrong option here. I have to select this capture keyframe. So I saw this magnet button. I just immediately assumed that it was a capture keyframe button. So I'll just show you guys again. So what I've done here is I've added a scene here. I've added the animation here by right clicking on it and adding an animation set here, right, from the current selection. I'm using the current selection button here. And after that, what I can do is I can select this, and can you see? If I select this animation, can you see a capture free keyframe? So now this will capture the keyframe, and now we have to give 5 seconds, right, and enter. Now this cursor has been jumped to 5 seconds, and then what I can do is go to this transform button and give it a transform of minus 20 feet. I'll enter, and then it has been transformed, and then I'll capture the keyframe again. And now after capturing the keyframe, let us play it. Still not able to play it. Let's try it again. So I'll just have to select this, and then let us capture the keyframe and give it a transform of 5 seconds. Sorry, give it a time frame of 5 seconds. I'll enter, and then I'll just minus 20, enter, and then let us capture the keyframe again. So guys, make sure to make it active here. After this active, you can use all the settings here. So this was an active, that's why I wasn't able to use this animation here. So let's create an animation again. I'll go to this animation, I'll select all the sets here, and I'll just capture the time frame. Now can you see we have an arrow here? So this means that it has been captured. I'll give a time frame of 5 seconds. I'll just enter it, and then I'll just give a transform here using this button. Just transform here of minus 20. Just do it quickly. I'll just enter it again, and then I'll snap the keyframe. Can you see we have a big green sort of a blue bar appearing here? So now if I stop this animation, I'll be able to play this animation. Can you see it has been moving in the from the up towards the down, right? Now this is good. I'll just add another scene. Can you see we have to add another scene? I'll just add another scene here. Now I'll just move here and then I'll zoom in a little bit and then go to the sectioning tool. I'll just move this section tool a little bit up so that I can see the slab right up until here. Now I'll just turn off this sectioning tool. Now I'll just go here, I'll just first of all select this and then go to the scene here, add animation set from the current selection, and then I'll just make it active. I have to make it active, and then what I'll do is I'll just snap this keyframe and then I'll just give a 5-second duration here. I have to give a 5-second duration here, and then after giving that particular duration I'll just use this transform button and make sure I'll just give a 20 feet. I'll just enter. Right, okay, so I have to select this one, guys. I have selected the wrong one, so I'll just control Z it for now. Right, so control Y. So just redo this. I'll just delete this scene here. Yes, and then what I can do is I go here, add a scene. I'll just add I think let it be scene 2. I'll just make it, I have to add to this add scene, and then what I can do is I'll just select this, select this. So I think I have to delete this. Now let us add a scene here, and then go here, add an animation set from current selection. Okay, looks okay, and then I'll select this one and select the animation here, make it active, and then snap this frame here, and then I'll just transformation here of 10 feet, I guess. I'll just enter it. So I'm not able to see this. What I can do here, I'll just go to the move command. I'll just move it a little bit up so I'll be able to see this. Can you see it has now been moved up? Before that, I'll just go to my selection tree. I'll just go here and turn off all the MEPs. Level 1 mechanical, just control H it, select this, control H, and save for electrical. I've only this one and this one again, control H. Right, now I'll go here, I'll select this one again. I'll give it a duration of 5 seconds, enter, and then after entering I give it a snap scene. Right, so I'll just save this animation now. Can you see if I play it now? So there must be a mistake somewhere. Okay, so guys, now I'm able to play it. Can you see if I play this again? Can you see now this is moving up? And if I select the first one, and then play it, that is moving down. Can you see it is moving down? So now I want it in the opposite orientation. I want this moving up. So what I can do is, can you see I'm able to select the scene, I'll just move it forward, and then I'll just move it backwards. So like this, I'll just go here, I'll just move it back, I'll just move it back. It's a little bit tricky, guys. Let's move it here. Let us see if it works, or I have to do it otherwise. No, so I'll just do it again. Just move it away, move this here, and then this here, move it away. Now let's see it, let's check it. Can you see now it is moving in the other direction? Similar thing you can do here as well. You can move it away and then this back here and then this back here and then this back here again. Now if I play this animation, can you see it is moving from the top to the bottom now. So by this way you can add this animation. You can save this animation and add this animation. I'll just stop this animation for now. Just go to my animator here and then I can export this animation from here. Export from the current animation, viewpoint, AVA, okay. Okay, I have to select the, okay, I have to select this and then I'll be able to save this animation. Can you see this animation appears here, and then I'll be able to export it. Okay, so I'll have to select this one first and then export it. No. Okay guys, let's check why is this not working. I'll select this animation here and then I'll go to export and then, okay, I have to select the current animation. I think this was, yeah, now it is working. I'll be able to, okay, I'll be able to save this animation and then view that animation later, right? So by this way you can save this animation. Make sure you have to select this here. If I want to select the scene second, I'll be able to export it now. Current animator scene, can you see this is an animator, and then click OK and then save it. Okay, so after this we'll be looking into the camera animations that we have. So now guys, sometimes what I want is I want to create a animation from the camera. So I'll just go to my home section here and I'll just go to my selection tree and turn on my architecture model, and then after turning on my architectural model, I'll just go to the home, select the button, and now I'll just go to the section tool and then I'll just turn off this section tool. Can you see now I'll be able to see my whole. I'll just turn off the grids. Section tree, do we have some grids? Yeah, I'll control H. I'll be able to turn off the grids. We have some other grids maybe. I'll just close this. Do we have some grids? Why is this? Okay, let it be guys. So now what I want is I want to create an animation such that I'll just close this. I want to create an animation. The animation should look like this. This is my camera animal. I'll just go here, the pan here, and then the animation should be like this. So we'll land on this floor and then we'll be able to walk a little bit in this direction, and then we want to look in this direction and walk through this door, and then this door should open and we should be able to go inside this door. If I escape it, and now let me move inside this, right? So I want to move inside this particular kitchen section, right? So I want to create an animation for that. How can I create an animation for that? So I'll just go to my animation again. I'll select the animator again. Now I want another scene here. So now let's create this animation. So what I want is, in my animator tab, I'll just go here, I'll add a scene here, and in that add scene I'll just can you see, I just right click, and then can you see we have an add camera, and then a blank arrow option. Just select on this blank arrow option. Now it has been selected. I'll just go here and make it active, and then I'll just use this capture keyframe button, or perhaps let us zoom in a little bit outside, and then maybe let us give some, right, and then I'll be able to capture this keyframe. And then now let's add the duration. If I want from the camera to move at the view range that I am to the section here, I want 5 seconds. So I'll just go here, I'll just press 5, enter, and then after entering the 5, I have to zoom into that particular area, or perhaps just fly, or I'll just zoom in for now, and then I will go here and tilt a little bit upwards. Just zoom in and tilt a little bit upwards, and I've now landed on this on this slab. So I'll just do the capture the keyframe again. Can you see we have a green here? And then for turning, I'll just turn a little bit, move a little bit upwards, and then give it a, let's say, 3 second. Let's add 8 here, enter, and then capture keyframe. Just capture keyframe again, go here, I've turned now, just little bit more. Okay, and now capture keyframe, capture just like this, sorry, just like this, and then I'll just turn it, and then capture keyframe. I've captured the keyframe, and then I want to move in this particular direction. I'll just go, let us say 11 seconds now, enter. Now the time frame has jumped up, and then what I can do is I can move to that location here. Let's move a little bit up here, and then capture keyframe, and then turn. I'll just go, let us see, 2 seconds, enter. Sorry, I have to give what was this, 13 seconds, right? Enter 13 seconds, and then let us turn here, and then capture keyframe, and then walk again here, walk up to here, I think, and then give 18 seconds, enter, and then, or perhaps let us give it a 17 seconds or a 16 seconds. I think 16 seconds will work. And I'll just move a little bit closer to this door at a particular height, and then capture the keyframe. And now what I want is, I want this door sort of to tilt or to rotate. So how I can do that? I'll simply select this door, and then if I go to the item tools, if I go to the, now for the door, what we can do is select the door, and then go here, and then add animation set, and from the current selection. So now this door has, I'll just rotate this door. I'll just use this rotate command here. Can you see? I'll just select this animation set, and then I'll just use the rotate command, and then I'll select this and use the rotate command. I'll just give it a rotation of, am I able to see? So before that, I'll just go to the item tools and then rotate it. I'll just take it to the corner here, make sure it is at the corner, yeah. And then now we'll just give a, let us say, 3 seconds to move closer to the door, and say just give 18 here, enter, and then we'll move closer to the door at a particular height, and then capture the keyframe here. And now let's just capture the keyframe. It's like this. So I'll just move closer, and I'll capture the keyframe. So maybe I'll have to select this one, and then go move forward and move a little bit towards this angle, and then maybe I have to rotate again, and then I'll just capture this keyframe. Now it has now been captured. Now what I will do is, can you see, after I've gone to the item tools and I've selected this rotate button, I'll just move it to this point, and then I'll rotate it, not in this direction. I'll just let it be here, and I'll just select this one. I'll just go on the top view sort of things, and now I'll be able to rotate it. Can you see? I've rotated it 90 degree, and after rotating it, I'll just move to the closer to here, and then give, let us say, 2 seconds again, and then enter. Sorry, it was 20 seconds, right? 20 seconds, enter, and then move closer here, move a little bit centered, and then capture the keyframe again, and then move inside. I'll just give it a, let us say 22 and enter, and then go inside and then capture the keyframe again, and then let us say 25, enter, and then I'll just go here and sort of try to visualize this whole kitchen area right in this direction. I'll just move forward, be able to see this right like this, and then zoom in a little bit and then pivot it like this, or perhaps let it be. I'll just use this scene and then capture the keyframe. And now if I go to the save button, and now if I play the animation, can you see we are able to play this animation now, and we will be able to save this. I've landed here, I've sort of I'm now walking going in this direction, and now my door has been opened. I'll just go into this room and then sort of pan around in this room, right? So guys, after our animation, the next thing that we have in our Navisworks masterclass is our field management and our quantification. So what is our field management? What is our quantification? So under the field management, we are going to be covering two important topics, that are Navisworks quantification and custom property mapping. So let's first of all talk about quantification. If I go into my home tabs here, can you see an option here called quantification? If I select this quantification button, can you see we have some tab open in the lower section of my screen. So we have some sheet browsers, we have quantification workbooks, we have item catalogs, we have resource catalog, etc, etc. Now what is this quantification? Quantification is a process of extracting the material quantities, the areas, the volumes, the counts and other measurable data directly from our BIM model into our Navisworks. So for example, if I show you guys, this is the foundation. If I select this foundation may have some weight, it may have some material, it may have some area, it may have some volume, it may have some counts. For example, we may have some counts for our individual footings, and we may have some other properties from these particular models. Now two things happen here. First of all, we need to create a schedule. We can create a schedule using this quantification, right? We can create different BOQs, we can create material schedules, we can create costs and other parameters that are useful to estimators, that are useful to planners, that are useful to project managers. So we can do all of this, but the problem arises when the model that we have imported here in Navisworks, if I click on this model, if I go to the properties palette here, can you see we have a Tekla some elements are here, properties, we have the properties that we can see here are from Tekla. So this means that this model is not from Revit itself, it is from Tekla structures. So this model has been modeled in Tekla structures. So now a problem arises here. Can you see if I go to Tekla quantities, we have some volume parameters here, we have some area parameters, width, length, weight, etc, etc. Now Navisworks only understands the parameters that come from a Revit model. If I have uploaded a Revit model here, it may simply understand those parameters, the length parameter, the weight parameter. For example, I'll just take an example of this section of the footing here. Can you see if I select this footing here, and if I go to the materials here, and let me check. So yeah, so the footing is from Revit. Can you see if I select here, can you see I am able to select I am able to see all the properties and the values here. If I go to the Revit materials, I can clearly see this is a Revit file. Can you see all the things? And then if I go to Autodesk materials and the element IDs, I can see I can see the levels, etc, etc. But if I select the architectural model here, the architectural model is also from Revit. Let me check if I have some model from Tekla. Can you see guys, if I selected this footing here, so some of the footings that are from the architectural model, can you see we have in our selection tree we have an architectural model, we have a structural model. So the architectural model is from Revit. Can you see if I select the architectural, any architectural model, it is showing Revit here, but some of the some of the footings are also from architecture from Revit, but some of the footings maybe from the structural model have come from Tekla structures. Can you see we have Tekla structures here? Now this particular footing may have some it may have some height, it may have some width, it may have some length, etc, etc. We can see those things here. Tekla quantity, can you see we have height, we have width, and we have weight, and we have volume. Now there is a problem in Navisworks that it doesn't understand these parameters that have been imported from Tekla itself. It doesn't understand the parameters. So if we want to create the quantification, and if we want to create the BOQs, the schedules, and the other things that may be beneficial for the project managers, so we have to first of all map the properties from the Tekla into the Navisworks, so the Navisworks may be able to understand those properties and then subsequently create the different schedules, create the different volumes, create the different quantities, etc, etc, right? So for that we use a item called we use a process called property mapping, right? So let us first of all go to this quantification tab here. You'll be able to see all the quantification workbooks, item catalogs, etc, etc. Now before we do anything, we have to do the project setup first. If I click on this project setup, I'll just get this warning here. I'll just remind me later, right? And now can you see we have some catalogs. These are called the catalogs. We have some CSI catalogs, and then we have some uniformat. So these CSI catalogs, CSI 16, CSI 48 is it is sort of outdated catalogs, so we don't use them. So we'll just start with this uniformat, or if I want to browse a catalog, I can browse it here and then select the link from here, right? Can you see we have some catalogs already mentioned here. If I want to add a catalog, I can simply download them and then select the file from here and then upload it here. So I'll just cancel it. I'll just cancel it. Okay, I'll just go to use the listed catalog and select the uniformat and then go to next. So next is our measurement units, whatever measurements that we want. I'll just select the matrix since my Tekla quantity is in metric. I'll just select the matrix for now. I'll just go to next, and if I want to change any of the categories, model width, if I want it in meters, in millimeters, I can change all the settings here. I'll just go to the next and I'll just finish it. Now the project setup has been done. Now when I go to the quantity workbook and item catalog, I'm able to see some of the groups here. Can you see these A, B, C, D, E, F? These are called the groups. Can you see if I want to add a new group, I can add a new group from here, and then let us say I want to add openings, OPENINGS. I want to add an openings. Openings are my doors, my windows, etc, etc. So I can create a new group here, or else I can create a new item in this particular groups that I've created. So if I go to the substructure and if I plus this button here, can you see in the substructure we have foundation, we have basement construction, and in my foundation I may have some standard foundation, I may have some special foundation, I may have some slabs that are the foundation slabs, and then in the basement construction I have to do excavation and I have to add the basement walls, right? Similarly in services we may have HVAC, fire protection, electrical, plumbing, etc, etc, right? In my HVAC I can see all the energy systems, all the control instruments, etc, etc. In my fire protection system I may see the sprinklers, standpipes, etc, etc, right? And in my electrical I may see some conduits, some wirings, etc, etc, right? So if I want to add an item here, if for example in my foundations I want to, if I'll select the foundations, I'll add an item called wall foundation, right? So I've added an item called wall foundation. Now if I select this select this item, I can also check these items in the quantification workbook. Can you see, guys? I'm also able to see these items and groups in quantification workbook. Now let's go back to our item catalogs. Now if I select any of the items here, I can rename it if I want, or else what I can do is I can press this button called property mapping, and now okay, or else what I can do is I'll just show you guys how it works, right? How the property mapping works first, right? So okay, so I'll just for example I want to take the takeoff. I'll just create a new item here called footings. I'll just use this in general to show you guys how do we do the material takeoff. So in my selection tree I'll select all the footings. Do I have some footings? Yeah, I have some footings here. I see Here I can see all the footings. Maybe I'll just select here, and then now after selecting all the footings here, can you see I can right click on it? Can you see? Sorry, I have to select this, and then can you see we have an right. So I'm not able to do this. Oh right, so I have to select the quantification workbook and select that particular item from here, and then I'll just go here. Can you see? So let's take this one. Can you see we have a so why I'm not able to see that? Select this, and right, and now yeah, I have to select that option. Can you see here we have take selected out of take off selected model items. I've selected this model items, and now I have to take off. I have given the take off, right? So if I expand this a little bit, can you see guys, I'm not able to see the model length, model width, model thickness, model height of this particular selected item. So this means that the properties have now not been matched properly, and it is not able to take the properties from the Tekla model itself and show them in my Navisworks. So how do I map these properties? Let us learn how we can do all the mappings, right? So let's start. So now let us map the properties. I'll simply select this. Can you see this is a Tekla property here? So let us map the properties. I'll just go to my item catalog. I'll just go to footings. So let us okay, some footings here, and then property mapping. And can you see I have to add a property here, the takeoff object. I have to select as length, model length, and then category should be let's select T here, Tekla. I'll just enter. No, not the Tekla common, I want Tekla quantity. Yeah, here I can see the Tekla quantity, and then the property I have to match is the length, length, right? So I'll just select the length here. I'll click OK. Now let's add, oh sorry, this one I have to, right? So property mapping, I've already added the model length. I have to add the model width, Tekla quantity, and then width here, and then the next one maybe thickness. Yeah, Tekla quantity, Tekla quantity, and thickness maybe. Do we have some thickness? No, we have height, so it's the same thing. Do we have a height here? Yeah, model height, let it be in the height category, and then the next we want maybe area. So my right, Tekla, and then area. Do I have some area? Okay, I'll just click OK now. So I've added these in the footings, or I can create a new item here called footings F1, or whatever you want, right? So whatever you want this category and the properties to match with, so you can create a new sort of item here and match them with that, right? Now I've done this with the footings, but I have to correlate that with the quantification workbook. So I'll go to the footings. I'll just select this takeoff. No, I have to select them first. I'll just go no here. I'll select from the selection tree. I'll select all the footings, or perhaps all the footings, and then let us go here, and then let us take off the model items. I'll just click OK. Can you see guys, now we're able to see the status, the WBS, that is a work breakdown structure, the object, and can you see the properties that we matched, we're able to see them here for this footings part. Not the thickness slab, we have not modeled the thickness slab, but we have modeled this footing part that we have created here. So maybe I'll just make it a little bit bigger, or else I think you guys are able to see this. I'll just check it right here. You can see we have mapped the model length, we have mapped the model width, model thickness, and model height. Can you see model height as well? I think we have mapped area somewhere, but I'm not able to see that here. Okay, yeah, I'm able to see the area here, right? In the footings, the total area is here, the total width is here, and then the thickness is not visible right now. The height is visible. Height and thickness is the same thing, guys. Remember, we have not mapped the thickness, if I go to the item catalog, if I go to property matching, can you see we have no thickness here? That is why the thickness is not visible in the quantification workbook. So now these properties are matched. So now we've created a schedule from the take class structures, and we'll take class structure model, and we've created this schedule. Now we have to export this schedule. So how I can export it? Can you see we have an option? If we scroll to the right here, we have an option here called export to Excel. Can you see export Excel quantities to Excel? I'll just select this. I'll be able to make an Excel report. I can rename this report. I'll just make it on the desktop. So okay, save. Or else you can I don't think I have Excel is installed here. Or else if I don't have an Excel installed right now, so I guess I'll just show you guys later how that looks. Or you can simply export catalog. If you want to export all the catalogs, you can export the catalogs, or you can export all the selected items. Only if you have a selection of the items here, you can select those items from it and then export the quantities from those particular items only, right? So by this you can give all the quantification you want, and give that to your client or the product manager or to the BOQs, and prepare the BOQs, etc, etc, right? So guys, it will sort of look like this. We will have our substructure, foundations, footings, and then we have some of the properties that we matched. So it will be in Excel format, and accordingly you can delete the rows or columns according to your needs, right? Now guys, let's do one thing. I think earlier we created an opening. We created a section here called openings. If I move down, can you see we have created an opening section called opening. So let us use this time. Let us use sets to create all the material takeoff that we did and then export it to Excel, right? So in my openings, I've created an opening as a group here. So I have to add an item here in the openings. Can you see if I select the openings, I can I think in the ROM section go to the item catalogs, and then I'll just minimize these ones, and let us minimize these ones. Right, can you see we have an openings here? So this is a new group, and we have to create an item from this particular group. I'll just create an item here. I'll just add a new item and call doors, right? So in order to select all the doors that we have from this building, what I can do, we can simply, I've taught you guys how we can select all the doors. We can simply go to the doors here. We can use the sets option here, and we can create a set from this particular doors. We have two options. We can create a selection set, or we can create a search set using this find items. So let us create a selection set here. I'll just go to the selection tree here, and I think all the doors, if I select this door option here, can you see all the doors in my buildings have been selected. Now after selecting all the doors, I'll just go to the sets. I'll just create a set here. I think I have to create a group first. I'll just create a new folder here and rename it as materialtakeoff material takeoff sets, right? And I'll just try to and give rename it to doors, right? Doors. So now what I can do is I can select this door. I'll just right click it, or perhaps go to the quantification workbook first, and now I'll be able to see the doors here. If I'll just scroll this down, and now I right click on this. Can you see I have to select this, select the doors first. Now I've selected all the doors. Now I'll just go here and take the material, take off the selected model items, right? I'll just okay it. Sorry, okay, there was a warning then, and now I'm able to see all the takeoffs here, with the widths, the thicknesses, the height of the doors, etc., the perimeters, etc., etc. And if I want to export it, I can export it simply here into the Excel file, right? So guys, try this quantification and select all the things. We have different categories here. Doors, you can create a subset, selection set, and the search sets, and then take the quantity from this and map the properties. If we have some structure from Tycla, this is Autodesk, Revit, and maybe this is, where is this? This is also Autodesk. Maybe some structures. What I can do is I can go to the selection tree. and then maybe what I can do is do I have some structure? Yeah, cancel it, selection tree from this to this. I'll just control H it all, and then with my structure maybe control H. Now I think, yeah, so can you see my structure file is completely from Tekla itself, right? Can you see here everything that I select is from Tekla? So my structure has been modeled in Tekla, and then all these items that you're able to see, this is only my level 1 and my, I think, my underground. Yeah, this is level 1 and underground. So all the things that you are seeing here are from Tekla structures, and you have to map the property of each of these elements with the selection with the Navisworks itself, in order for Navisworks to understand the properties and then give the schedules, right, and to give the BOQs, etc., right? So try this and explore, and if there is a question, I'll make sure that I'll answer that question in the comment boxes, right? So I think this is it from the quantification side, and the next thing that we have is our ACC, that is our Autodesk Construction Cloud, and I think we also have a rendering portion here. So we'll see the rendering portion in the separate masterclass, how to render in our Revit file, or how to render here in Navisworks itself, or how to render in rendering software such as Lumion, such as Enscape, etc., etc., right? So I think this is it from my side today in this masterclass, and then see you in the next one.